Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear humanity, dear humanity, dear humanity. Today we are going to look at Islam and the beauty of life. As I said to you, human beings, life is a religion, and that most holy, beautiful religion is Islam. I'll repeat that. Life is a religion, and that most holy, beautiful religion is Islam. With that, the most holy, glorified Almighty Allah, the Creator, the Sustainer, the Creator and the Sustainer and the Owner of life, commands all human beings, that men and women, you should not shed blood, and you should not conjecture ways of altering life as we set it for human beings or other creations to suit your own personal ways. With that, many of you who are on watching news around the world, the news that are coming, streaming from one television channel, CNN, BBC, Sky News, and your own national TV, whatever, country TV, national TV. You do not understand some of these concepts of what is life, what is entertainment, and what is the importance of life as living human beings. So with that, my people, this message is especially for the African brothers and sisters in Africa, because in Africa we have governments, what we call, institutions which act like governments. But let's look at the importance of life and its the importance of life, because we say in Islam, Allah says, Islam is the most holy, beautiful religion from which Allah created every single living thing, every single living creation on planet Earth, or on planet, or in the universe. Is the religion is Islam. And with that, Allah, the most holy, glorified, Almighty, created human beings, and He created our father, Prophet Adam, the most holy man that has ever lived and has ever lived, who lived and who still lives. The most holy man on this planet, because every rib, every whatever that of every human being is directly related to Prophet Adam, the most holy living man, the most holy creation of Allah. And that is Prophet Adam was and is a Muslim, because Allah created everything in His religion, the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam. In other religions, they say, Allah created a man, and He created him in His own image. Somehow it kind of echoes, but my people, human beings, especially Africans, over the last week, last 7 days, or let's go back, I think around 8 to 9, 10 days, many of you have been watching what is going on in countries like Kenya, the riots about taxes, riots about taxes, taxes that the government impose on the people. It's okay, I'm not kind of crying, but I'm trying to tell government, African government, if you have a country like Kenya, a country which its weather, they claim it, its weather is a weather which is very, very sweet for any agricultural production. You can easily direct every Kenyan that is born in Kenya, tell my people, we are Africans who have lived in one of the most blessed countries in the world. We have wild animals living in Kenya, in different national parks. If you are to ask an African leader, why do you think you have these animals in the national park? He would not know. But my people, my fellow people, but especially Kenyan people, in today's time, you are a people who identify yourselves as a people who follow the religion of the cross, the religion which says they crucified the Son of God, whom we call Jesus. There are so many men in Kenya who preach about Jesus and what have you. Many of them. Many people in Kenya, they say we are Christians. Sometime back, I think not a long time ago, while I was here in where I live, I was approached by someone said that when I sent a message regarding the way they preach about Christianity and telling people about Christianity, because what prompted me to talk about Christianity in Kenya was that at one time I was reading and I saw a man who calls himself a pastor, and his congregation are young girls under the age of either 15 to 20, who calls them to pray, to go to worship, and when they go, he picks men, Christian men, and he picks a Christian girl, and say, you can entertain that man after he pays you. He pays you money. So that is what you call a pastor. A pastor who is preaching about the religion of Christianity. My people, in Islam, Allah has forbidden any form of adultery. Allah has forbidden any form of adultery. Even your eye, Allah says, if your eye, the eye in your body feels that you feel that it can commit adultery, touch it and beg Allah to stop that eye from committing adultery against your body as well as against others. Because in Islam, that's how Allah has created His religion. He says, do not commit adultery in any way. Do not engage in any acts of adultery. If your eye, in your whatever, commits any whatever, seek refuge in Allah, ask Allah that Allah forgive me. I seek refuge that my eyes, my body cannot commit. Because in adultery, there are so many deadly diseases that accompany any act of adultery. Any sin, any sin in adultery is accompanied, is punished by diseases that if you had to put a number, how many? You wouldn't be able to finish how many. For instance, sometime back when I was teaching about adultery and the semen that Allah created in human beings, that in men, that Allah created what we call a semen, a sperm. That the sperm has to meet an egg and form whatever fertilizes egg, and then the child, whatever takes form, and we start growing in the womb of a woman. But before that, a single semen sperm is an independent cell, living cell, with intellectual, with a program to survive under any circumstances. The same program that is put in a human being, that you are so intelligent, you are whatever, you can either become a pilot who flies a Boeing A380 from Australia to Dubai to America to London. The sperm has the same program. With that, Allah says, my people, do not commit adultery and do not put sperms where they are not supposed to be, because these are special creations. Do not just put sperms here and there like that. So when I saw a program in Kenya and whatever, and the man is calling girls under the age of from 15 upwards, and when they go, like they say they've gone to do the appraisal, they are given boys and men to engage in sexual whatever. Straight away I went and looked at what are the statistics, what are the numbers of AIDS cases in Kenya. My people, in Kenya, the population of young men and women who have the HIV/AIDS disease is roughly between 4 million, approaching, in the next 2 years to be around 5 million. These are young men under the age of 30, productive men and women who are engaged in reckless sexual or casual sex practices. Whereas in Islam, Allah says, do not engage in any act of adultery. Do not engage in zina. Why is Kenya? Why have I kind of looked at Kenya as a whatever? Because of the last week, the couple of whatever, there were so many TV fresh news that Kenya young men have been arrested. I saw one man, an army officer, aiming an assault rifle. A rifle that is meant to kill a machine which can kill anybody at any other way. Aiming it at a living human being, Africans. And I said, my people, I've never seen this in the Western Hemisphere where your beliefs came from, where these guns are manufactured from. I've never seen men aiming assault rifle. Where a trading officer, either in Britain, England, aiming an assault rifle at a fellow human being, a British man. I've never seen that. And it cannot be seen, it cannot be heard, because they know they somehow, in one way or the other, they know a certain percentage of the value of life. But in Africa, a man, because he has an assault rifle, they tell him, anybody who says, whatever, just aim and if whatever shoot, is forbidden. It is forbidden to shed blood of your own fellow human beings because of a tax which was imposed on Kenyans, whereby they have a land, a beautiful land, which can produce and feed half of the planet with products produced in Kenya. But the government, when he's teaching his people, he says, oh, you are all doctors. Doctors trained under false information about the biology and the physical biology and the whatever of human beings, as well as other whatever that lives on this planet. Because I tell you, human beings, if you are to examine properly the medical biology that whatever that institutions kind of distribute to our children in modern times, because it's somehow very questionable. Because in the biology of modern times, there's something that is not mentioned at all in the survival or in the development of a human being. I'll give you that in a kind of a little words, because in ancient times, or in the creation of human beings, The female creation is a very, very special creation. Very, very special creation, which Allah in Islam says, I did honor a female creation. I did and I do honor a female creation. And I do in Islam explain in great detail the beauty of Islam, the religion from which I created every living human being. I do greatly explain in great detail the beauty of life, the beauty of Islam in a female creation. With that, I did represent a female creation, which is the nearest celestial body, the moon, planet Earth, because Mother Planet Earth herself, her religion, is purely a Muslim mother who looks after countless millions of creations of human beings, or if not billions of human beings on planet Earth. Her religion, the religion of Mother Planet Earth, is purely Islam. With that, that's why she's able to produce what men and women consume as food. But when we created the female creation, because we wanted human beings to have a continuation of whatever of life, because life is a religion, and that must hold before the religion is a life. Life is evolving, it continues. If you are to say that we created a female creation, a female woman, human being, and we adorned her with beauty. If you are to look at a woman in her prime years, when she walks and the surrounding environment, either nature or anything, will show you that indeed a female creation, a woman, is a special creation. Because even the area that is around that creation in her prime years glorifies Allah, and in that Allah says, when a woman walks as if she's being born by a gentle wind and air, her beauty, Allah explains it and says, in the surrounding environment, says, human beings, look at the beauty of Islam, the beauty of life. Look at the beauty of life and the beauty of Islam. Because a woman walks, and gently her body, she's in a rhythm as if she's dancing. And the air goes with that dancing motion. In that Allah says, this is the beauty of the religion of Islam. And if at all she becomes pregnant, she will produce a creation which is a purely Muslim creation. But before that, the very day that the girl child is born on planet Earth, Allah, as soon as that girl arrives on planet Earth, within the period of 60 seconds, the moon takes over that girl's life, that girl child's life. The moon, what you people call the moon. It has to check, keep in contact with every red and white blood cell of that girl child every minute. In every minute that passes, the moon contacts each and every red and white blood cell of a girl child 3 times to assess the changes in her gravity, electrical, reproductive growth, dynamics, and what have you, which are still in level par with that of the sun, with that of the galaxies, that of the moon, that of the sun, that of the planet Earth. So that in that the moon collects data every 3 times from every red and white blood cell from a girl child, until such a time that the level of the data that the moon collects allows the moon and Allah to know, to allow, because when the moon collects data, it takes it to Allah, and Allah assesses it, and change. Oh, yeah, according to this girl is ready to develop or to go into another stage of her life, produce what we call breast. Her body changes breast, and so on and so many. There's so many things that goes on in the development or the productive cycle or the survival or the whatever of living human beings. What I wanted you to show that human beings, you are all living Muslims, but the biology from which you study modern medicine is totally, because you cannot study or go live under the biology which does not know that the moon collects data for 24 days. For instance, if a woman is in her reproductive years, the moon collects data 3 times every minute. After 24 days, whatever data is collected from every red and white blood cell is kind of put under whatever scrutiny and assess that the moon finds that according to the data that it collected, there are red blood cells in that woman and white blood cells which are weak, which are the electrical gravity reproductive dynamics does not, they're weak. They need to be removed. They will need to come out of that woman. So that's when, after that 24 days, the moon will trigger off what we call a menstrual cycle, reproductive cycle or period, removing the electrical gravity, gravity dynamics which are weak, which are not in level path. For instance, if a woman was to become pregnant, when some of the electrical gravity, whatever, are weak and whatever, then the child might be either deformed, whatever. Might have deformed limbs and what have you. With that, it is always removed in time that it does not cause damage to the body. And for your information, it has to be removed because Allah knows the body of a woman than human beings know. Because if this weak or electrical gravity, whatever that have become weak, remains in the body of a woman, they can easily cause many mutations, including mutations of blood, whatever, into cancer tumors, which in modern times or in modern medicine, they don't know about it, they can't explain it. So with that, I was questioning the kind of the biology from which you study, and you say everyone wants to be. It's something many students, when you ask them, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? They say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a doctor. No, I know that's something very important because every human being is responsible for their own lives. With that, I tell you that you as people who are Africans, who have lived for centuries, survived, and with the survival that we kept, rotations or whatever, and that you on this day, the Kenyans will witness and see that indeed Allah had blessed the land of Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and so with the beauty of life, with the religion of Islam, whereby in many countries around the world, there are no animals or wild living animals which are live side by side with human beings. They were either eaten or killed. If you are to look at the legacy of colonialism, there are some people who first came to Africa. When they got to countries like Kenya, Uganda, where they had what we call a show of whatever, they could go in our national parks and shoot defenseless elephants just for fun. I don't want to go there, but I just want to show you that in those days, we lived side by side with animals, which is still kind of possible in Kenya, because there are the tribes called the Maasai. They still live along with zebras and lions and whatever, and elephants. But in modern time in Nairobi, men cannot live with men alone. Yeah. Men are either produce and aim rifles at fail men because of the tax that they want to collect from them. And then I ask, why? Why an African man, you stand on your legs and you aim an assault rifle on a fellow African man, because that man does not have to pay, but the education curriculum does not give leeway to teach this man the beauty of the whatever, that man can pay the tax willingly without having to be forced. If, as I told you, Kenya can easily produce half of the food or fruit that are eaten either in the whole of China. But why is it not that Kenya can do so? Because of what we call political whatever, castles and betting, whatever, in the language of politicians. Now, people, what prompted me to talk about this program is the fact that I can see an African man aiming an assault rifle at another African man, a young boy, saying the taxes are too high. We cannot either develop, we cannot free ourselves from the stagnant whatever that has been on us for more than 60 years. But when he does that, the man says, no, shoot. Allah says, haram. Africa, do not import weapons to Africa. Do not allow weapons to enter Africa. Because when you use a weapon which was manufactured either in Europe or America to shoot an African man, you are indeed committing atrocities against either your mother or your mother, your own children. Do not, governments of Africa, do not go into loans to import tons and tons of either assault rifles or tons of bullets and whatever. Because they are not to benefit any African, or it's the other way around, they are to shed blood of Africans. Do not import, do not get excited when you are in the office of the president and say, I am a president now, I can bring in tons of assault rifle. And they are convincing whatever, we are going to recruit more and more men to be army officers. Give men proper education, the interpretation of their lives, the religion of Islam, true religion of Islam, whereby every man is created equal. And you as the leaders, you've got to guide these men to the true religion, that they do not have any hate against their own countries. Or they have to run away and go into exile to seek green pastures. Whereas Kenya has green pastures that can feed half of China's population, either with fruits, with so many things. Now, people, all I'm crying for is to inform human beings on planet Earth, Kenyans especially. Not long time ago, I saw news of a man who was living in either Mombasa or whatever, a man who was calling himself a preacher, who murdered many women and whatever, and buried them in whatever, saying that he wanted them to see Jesus. Many of you don't know who Jesus is. Your true religion as Kenyans is Islam. So long as you are tied in the whatever with the in confrontation with the true religion from which you are created, the religion of Islam, there will be so many things that Allah says, okay, you say you are Christians? Look at the number of children who are either have AIDS in Kenya. A child, some of the children are born, they are under the age of 3, and they have AIDS. If you are to ask a little girl who is 3 years old and ask her, how is your body? And if you were to have followed the true course of interpretation of the religion of Islam, you wouldn't have a girl of 3 years old born with HIV. And with that, as a mother, you have to produce, to have enough money to be able to pay for her medicine every single other day. And every day she has to take more than 38 tablets in order to survive. With that, my people of the Africa, especially those under the sub-Saharan Africa, the Ugandans, the Kenyans, the Tanzanians, the Rwandese, the Malawi, the Zimbabwe, the Mozambique, all the way to South Africa. You two human beings, you remember, when they said there was an epidemic of AIDS, whatever, in South Africa, when many men and whatever died. If I'm not wrong, any girl who is under the age of 30 today in South Africa who tells that she's an orphan who survived after her parents died of AIDS. Why? Because you are people who identify yourselves as Christians. You can easily drink 20 bottles of whatever, and after drinking 20 bottles of cognac or wine or champagne, you can easily have sex. Well, as Allah has said, do not engage in any form of adultery. Do not engage in any form of adultery. But in those countries which I've mentioned, you can easily say, I'm a Christian. I can easily drink 10 bottles of champagne in the evening and sleep with many men, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm a Christian. Allah has forbidden a conjectural belief, which intention is not to guide men, but to mislead them. And that is the religion, that belief is Christianity. It's not a religion. It's not a religion. If you are to study properly what Christianity is, it is a whatever of men who used to enjoy hacking and whatever with machetes in coliseums, places called coliseums, which still exist in countries like Greece and whatever, where men could go on a Sunday with their drinking utensils full of alcohol, and the machetes, they hack and machetes and spears. After so many years, it kind of evolved and become what you call a religion today. And see the victims of the religion is a 3-year little girl in Kenya who has HIV, and an 18-year little girl in Kenya who has HIV, and a little boy or a little girl whose father was shot by a man in the jungle of Zaire, a man brandishing an assault rifle manufactured in America, freely available in the jungle of Africa. Governments of Africa, men and women, do not import guns to Africa. Do not shed blood of one another. You are all living Muslims on planet Earth. You are all living Muslims on planet Earth. And you are required by divine holy law not to engage in any act of adultery or the shedding blood of one another. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.